one and all, welcome to sisyaclass. ఇప్పుడు మీకు యాక్చువల్లీ కొన్ని డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. సో before I start the session, I would like to first clarify few doubts, especially regarding the timings of the class. Actually, there are totally 3 slots. Okay, first 11:30 batch okati. This is completely maths. Okay, and malli we have class at 3:30. ఈ 3:30 క్లాస్ వచ్చేసి కెమిస్ట్రీ. ఓకే, అండ్ తర్వాత we have class again at 5:30. This is again maths. Malli neene vastanu. So totally we have 3 batches as of now, 3 slots. So 11:30 okati, 3:30 okati, 5:30 okati. So these are the 3 slots where we are completely devoting our time for EAPCET series. Adi kaakunda slightly, we'll be coming up with even physics lectures also. In comment section I can see that the people are asking regarding physics lectures. So physics lecture kuda we are trying to accommodate, because timings set kagadam valla we are just trying to somehow fit in the timings, or else like everything is ready. So konni rojullo we'll have even the physics lectures also, but otherwise as of now we have maths and chemistry that is there on board right now. So yeah, so first ఈరోజు టాపిక్ వచ్చేసి కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్స్. ఓకే, this is one of my favorite topic, and it has a wide range of application, especially in terms of imagination. It looks little more beautiful than the Cartesian plane, and it's actually a Cartesian plane, but it has a different notion of complex number. It's actually a bombardment when you actually try to visualize how does a graph can be plotted from R2 plane to R2 plane, because we have always visualized from Rn to R. Okay, so idoka different demography, or we can in fact say the geography of the subject in terms of mathematics, where it's completely with a different sort of a philosophy and ideology. Completely oka kotta subject where it has started basically from a contradictory equation. Okay, so ekkadi nunchi start ayindante I would like to just introduce here itself. Okay, anyway, first I would like to just introduce about myself before introducing the topic. My name is Satish, and I have done my masters from IIT Palakkad, Kerala, and I have trained over 50,000 students from past 5 years. Idi na brief introduction. And one more thing, meeku class start avak mundu inkoka chinna vishayam entante, please as much as possible, please share this YouTube channel and the playlist of EAPCET series to as many as your friends. Okay, endukante free ga available untundi, the something which is free on YouTube. In my times, accessing internet was difficult. Okay, nenu internet access nakanta ledu. Okay, I had to go to an internet shop and then sit and I had to download the printout. Ippudu anta kaadu, you have technically you have mobile in each and everyone's hand. That's the biggest weapon in today's modern education, right? So as we are in that sort of era where the mobility of the mobile is there in our hands, so we can have the access to education irrespective of the age groups and the landscape, right? So ప్లీజ్ షేర్ చేయండి, ఎందుకంటే ఒక కోచింగ్కి వెళ్ళి మీరు నేర్చుకోవడం వల్ల 20,000-25,000 30,000 వస్తుంది, బట్ ఇంత స్మాల్ టైంలో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద బెస్ట్ పాసిబిలిటీ దట్ వీ కెన్ గివ్, వీ కెన్ కాంట్రిబ్యూట్ టు యూ. So we are doing our best. So please do share among your friends, and so that like it will be having a greater reach, so that like they will also get an advantage by the end of the exam. And definitely please do follow us even on Facebook as well as Instagram. And also, like in last law, I will show you the scanner. You can download our app, Sysya app, wherein it has a complete content of the right from the grade 1 to 10, and right now we are in the EAPCET mathematics series. Thank you. సో ఈరోజు నా టాపిక్ వచ్చేసి కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్స్. ఓకే, నిన్నటి వరకు మనం ఏమేమి నేర్చుకున్నామంటే వీ హ్యావ్ స్టడీడ్ అబౌట్ ది క్యాలిక్యులస్, తర్వాత వీ హ్యావ్ స్టడీడ్ అబౌట్ ద మ్యాట్రిసెస్, డిటర్మినెంట్స్ అండ్ ఫంక్షన్స్, ట్రిగ్నోమెట్రిక్ ఫంక్షన్స్. ఒకవేళ కానీ మీరు ఆ కంటెంట్ అంతా మిస్ అయి ఉంటే ప్లీజ్ మీ డిస్క్రిప్షన్లో లింక్ ఉంటుంది. యూ విల్ బీ హ్యావింగ్ అ కంప్లీట్ ప్లేలిస్ట్ రిగార్డింగ్ దిస్ సెషన్స్, సో యూ కెన్ గో బ్యాక్ అండ్ లుక్ బ్యాక్ టు దీస్ సెషన్స్, అండ్ వేర్ ఇన్ యూ కెన్ హ్యావ్ ఎ బ్రీఫ్ ఐడియా questions ఎలా వస్తాయి EAPCET సిరీస్లో మటుకు you will be having an idea. Okay, so the first topic in today's program is complex numbers. I have divided into 2 programs. మళ్ళీ complex numbers పైన we will have a discussion. Okay, so let's start our class. ఫస్ట్ ఈ కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్స్ అనే ఐడియా ఎక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చింది? ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ when we are dealing with some sort of an equation like x square plus 1 equals to 0, right? Now this is a quadratic equation. Generally this does not have a real root. దాని అర్థం ఏంటంటే రూట్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ ఏదైనా నెంబర్ ఆ స్లాట్లో ఎక్స్ ప్లేస్లో ప్లేస్ చేసినప్పుడు దేర్ ఇస్ నో రియల్ నెంబర్ ఇన్ ద వరల్డ్ దట్ ఈస్ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ విచ్ కెన్ సాటిస్ఫై దిస్ ఈక్వేషన్, రైట్? సో ఎక్స్ స్క్వేర్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు -1. సో x equals to, we don't know for what value of x square equals to -1. We don't know for what value of x square equals to -1, right? Now this is the biggest question. Now here comes the birth of complex numbers, right? Ippudu nenu em chesta ante they'll say like x square equals to -1, x equals to root -1. Okay, ippudu emayipotundi, root -1 value enta I. Okay, they denote this root -1 as an imaginary root. అందుకనే మీకు గుర్తుండో లేదో, వెన్ యూ ఆర్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఫైండింగ్ ద నేచర్ ఆఫ్ రూట్స్, వెన్ b² - 4ac ఈజ్ లెస్ దాన్ 0, అప్పుడు మీరు ఏమంటారంటే యూ విల్ కాల్ దిస్ యాజ్ ఎ ఇమాజినరీ రూట్స్. ఓకే, మేబీ యూ మైట్ బీ నాట్ కాంటెంప్లేటింగ్ అట్ దట్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్, బట్ తర్వాత అది ఇమాజినరీ ఎందుకు అన్నాడంటే దీని గురించి అన్నాడు. Okay, so this is nothing but an iota. Okay, where this iota stands where I square is equals to -1, where I is equals to root -1, where I square equals to -1. Okay, so generally in terms of complex numbers is all it's a bigger set, it's a universal set in fact. So in complex numbers the real numbers comes as a subset of complex numbers. Okay, and in fact you can learn so many things in complex numbers, that is like in complex numbers it has a fundamental theorem of arithmetics is also there in complex numbers. ante entante meer edanna polynomial తీసుకోండి, ఆ polynomial ki ప్రతి ఒక్క జీరో మటుకు complex numbers లో అవుతుంది. Now this came after a huge decades of theorems, problems, in fact literally decades. So it was not an overnight success to say that this theorem came. Ante it has so many hurdles to reach to this theorem. Okay, so this is one thing which I wanted to say. So this is altogether a big subject where we also talk about the functions in terms of complex numbers also. Right now we are not going into that sort of a discussion, we are just discussing the origins of the complex numbers, right? Now complex numbers ni visualize chesukodaniki it is exactly like a Cartesian plane. Cartesian plane ela aitha untundo, Cartesian plane entante 2x2 coordinate system. ఒకవేళ కానీ మీ 2x2 coordinate system చూసుకుంటే ఇది ఎలా అయితే ఉంటుందో సేమ్ అదే విధంగా కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్ సెట్ కూడా ఉంటుంది. అంటే ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ ఏ ఫామ్లో ఉంటాయి, x, y. ఓకే, మన కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్స్ ఏ ఫామ్లో ఉంటాయి, x + iy. ఓకే, ఈ రెండు ఒకటే. ఓకే, విజువలైజ్ చేసుకుంటే ఒక పాయింట్ ఒక కోఆర్డినేట్ సిస్టంలో ఒక నెంబర్ xz, సో దీన్ని z తో డినోట్ చేస్తాడు. సో కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్వేస్ డినోటెడ్ బై z. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఇస్ జనరలీ యూనివర్సల్ నోటేషన్. Okay, generally we will be using z as a complex number, r as a real number set. So z we will be using. So ఈ z అనేది ప్రతి ఒక్క నెంబర్, ప్రతి ఒక్క కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్ కెన్ బి డైరెక్ట్లీ విజువలైజ్డ్ యాజ్ ఎ పాయింట్ ఆన్ ఏ కార్టెసియన్ ప్లేన్, దట్ ఈస్ R2 ప్లేన్. ఓకే, సో ఎలా ఉంటాయి, సపోజ్ నేను ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 3 + 4i, ఇది ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే 3, 4. ఓకే, సో దీంట్లో ఇవన్నీ ఆర్డర్డ్ పేర్స్. ఓకే, ద ఫస్ట్ ఈ నెంబర్ వచ్చేసి రియల్, దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ది రియల్ పార్ట్. వాట్ ఇట్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్, ద రియల్ పార్ట్. దిస్ 4 ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ది ఇమాజినరీ పార్ట్. ఇది ఆల్రెడీ మీకు తెలిసే ఉంటుంది, ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎ బిగ్ థింగ్. సో రియల్ పార్ట్, ఇమాజినరీ పార్ట్. ఓకే, సో this is all the whole about the complex numbers. Okay, so real part, imaginary part, and every number can be represented on a coordinate plane, that is 2D coordinate system. And specific ga ikkada cheppalante we can study so many things about this right here. But ఈ ఎలా అయితే రియల్ నెంబర్ సెట్లో నేను 2, 3 ఈ 2 నెంబర్స్లో ఏది గ్రేటర్ అని చెప్తే యూ విల్ ఆల్వేస్ సే కి 3 ఈజ్ గ్రేటర్ దాన్ 2. బట్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేను ఏదైనా ఒక పేర్ ఆఫ్ కోఆర్డినేట్స్ తీసుకున్నాను అనుకోండి, 3, 4, 4, 5, ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏది పెద్దది? Now this is not a that means that the coordinate in 2D coordinate system we cannot judge the number which one is greater which one is smaller. Okay, so alanti personification em ledhu. Okay, so right now so this is all generic about the complex numbers. Ipudu next let's try to understand exactly how does this demography look like in terms of a plane. How does this looks like? Okay, so konni introductory terms. For example, we are going to first start with what is meant by the first thing is conjugate of a complex number. Conjugate of a complex number ante em ledandi, first oka number unda daniki oka reflection x axis to ante that is called nothing but the conjugate. Okay, okavela edo oka number తీసుకోండి, for example 3, 4, what is will be the reflection with respect to x axis? మీరు ఏం చేస్తారు, x వైపు 3 అడుగులు, 4 వైపు 4 అడుగులు కిందకి. So that will be 3 comma minus 4. దీన్ని ఎలా అయితే మనం ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసామో the same thing you can find the conjugate of a number. The conjugate of a complex number is represented by z bar. It is represented by z bar. Now z bar is equals to, if z, I'm just giving you an example, if z is equals to x plus iy, now z bar will be ఏంటి ఏదైతే ఈ y ఒక సైన్ ఉందో దాన్ని tilt, you should just shift it to minus x minus iy, అంతే సింపుల్. ఓకే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద కాంజుగేట్ ఆఫ్ 3 minus 2i? దీని కాంజుగేట్ ఏంటి? వాట్ ఈస్ ద కాంజుగేట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్? జస్ట్ షిఫ్ట్ ద సైన్, ఇక్కడ మైనస్ ఉంది కాబట్టి జస్ట్ షిఫ్ట్ ద సైన్ ఆఫ్ iota, దట్ విల్ బికమ్ 3 plus 2i. డోంట్ చేంజ్ ద సైన్ ఆఫ్ x కోఆర్డినేట్, దట్ ఈస్ ద ఫస్ట్ రియల్ పార్ట్. జస్ట్ ఇమాజినరీ పార్ట్ ఏదైతే ఉందో దాన్నే షిఫ్ట్ చేయండి. ఓకే, సో రిమైనింగ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ రిమైన్ సేమ్. సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి, z is equals to x plus iy. వాట్ విల్ బి ద మిర్రర్ ఇమేజ్? దట్ విల్ బి z bar is equals to x minus iy. The same thing. So this is called the conjugate. Okay, and yeah. So I also want to describe few more things over here, here itself, so that like we'll have a clear understanding. ఒకవేళ కానీ నేను ఏదైనా ఒక పాయింట్ తీసుకున్నాను అనుకోండి, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 3,4, ఇది 0,0. సో ఆరిజిన్ నుంచి ఈ 3,4 ఎంత డిస్టెన్స్లో ఉంది? కెన్ యూ సే ద డిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద పాయింట్ A right from the origin O? That will be under root of 3 square plus 4 square. సింపుల్ పైథాగరస్ థీరం నుంచి చేయొచ్చు, అండ్ డిస్టెన్స్ ఫార్ములా నుంచి అండర్ రూట్ ఆఫ్ x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square అక్కడి నుంచి కూడా చేయొచ్చు. బట్ దిస్ ఆల్ కమ్స్, దిస్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ద డిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద point from the origin. So this, I decide this distance as modulus of z. Okay, mod z. Mod z is nothing but mod అంటే ప్రతి ఒక్క పాయింట్ ఆరిజిన్ నుంచి ఎంత దూరం ఉంటుంది అనేది దట్ ఈస్ గివెన్ బై దిస్ మాడ్యులస్ ఫంక్షన్. ఓకే, సో మాడ్యులస్ ఇస్ జస్ట్ లైక్ ఎ ఫంక్షన్ ఫ్రమ్ ద కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్ సెట్ టు ద రియల్ నెంబర్ సెట్. అంటే ప్రతి ఒక్క నెంబర్, ప్రతి ఒక్క కోఆర్డినేట్ పాయింట్ కి వీ కెన్ అసోసియేట్ ఎ నెంబర్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ది మాడ్యులస్ ఆఫ్ ఎ ఫంక్షన్. సో మాడ్ z is nothing but, I just wanted to say, if z is equals to x plus iy, so modulus of z is nothing but it is equals to under root of x square plus y square, under root of x square plus y square. So we have a conjugate. What is meant by conjugate? Just the opposite of the sign of imaginary part, and mod of z is nothing but the distance from the origin, which is given by under root of x square plus y square. So we have learned two terms completely. One is the conjugate of a number, one is the modulus of a number, right? So modulus of number is denoted by this, this symbol, and conjugate is denoted by the bar. Okay, so here we have learned two terms till now. Okay, next, so here are a few things that you need to learn. ఈ ప్రాపర్టీస్ మటుకు మీకు పక్కా తెలిసి ఉండాలి. ఓకే, జస్ట్ ఫర్ యువర్ రెఫరెన్స్, మీకు ఆల్రెడీ తెలిసి ఉంటుంది, మీ దగ్గర ఉన్న టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లో ఆల్రెడీ దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ లిస్టెడ్ అవుట్. బట్ ఇన్ ది అదర్ కేస్, ప్లీజ్ టేక్ ద స్క్రీన్ షాట్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ థింగ్స్ సో దట్ లైక్ యూ విల్ కంప్లీట్లీ హ్యావ్ అన్ ఐడియా. You can use rigorously, especially when you are dealing with the problems analytically, but otherwise for the sake of the EAPCET exam, this is good enough, right? Okay, so this is nothing but the properties of conjugates. Next, just now we have discussed what is meant by the modulus. Modulus ante enti, oka point origin nunchi enta dooram unnadi we can find out. This is nothing but the mod z. Mod z is nothing but under root of x square plus y square. So given a number, you can always find the modulus of a function, modulus of a number. Okay, the next one, so very very important properties ikkada. Oka modulus function ki there are several properties. Among these many properties, ఈ లాస్ట్ రెండు ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఉన్నాయి చూడండి, దీస్ టూ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఆర్ నథింగ్ బట్ ది ట్రయాంగిల్ లా ఆఫ్ అడిషన్. లైక్ అక్కడి నుంచి వస్తుంది. దీస్ టూ ఆర్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ప్రాపర్టీస్. ప్లీజ్ హైలైట్ దీస్ టూ ప్రాపర్టీస్. ద లాస్ట్ 8th and the 9th one, ప్లీజ్ డూ హైలైట్ దీస్ టూ ప్రాపర్టీస్. ఇవి చాలా యూజ్ చేస్తాం. Okay, we'll be using rigorously. Even you might have seen this sort of a thing in several of the commutative property, associative property akkada unnappudu. This is nothing but the triangle law. Even in vector algebra also you might have seen mod of a bar plus b bar is less than mod of a bar plus mod of b bar. So that is in the vector addition and everything. So that is where you have seen this triangle law. Okay, so akkada kuda use chestuntaru. So these are the properties of the complex numbers. Okay, next, వచ్చే నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ ఏంటంటే ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్. ఆర్గ్యుమెంట్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఒక నెంబర్ ఉంది. ఓకే, వీ హ్యావ్ ఎ నెంబర్ అండ్ దిస్ ఈస్ అట్ ఎ డిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ x, the coordinates are x, y. Now this point, if you try to join it from the origin, the angle of inclination with the x axis is nothing but theta, right? Now this theta is nothing but the argument of this value z. argument of this value z. Ante at what angle this theta is being inclined is called the argument. Okay, ఇప్పుడు argument ki oka chinna rule undi entante arg z, it is denoted by arg z. This value lies between minus pi to plus pi. Ante dan ardham entante it just oscillates between minus pi, it just not tilts 360 degree, it just goes from 0 to pi and 0 to minus pi. So it does not go beyond the interval of minus pi and plus pi. Okay, so I would like to just give you the partition of how this argument has been slit. Okay, now if you see here, so ikkada clear ga describe chesadu, but I will just give you a quick and fast, you know, the notation. Okay, so ikkada chudandi, first theta, okavela if the angles belongs to the first quadrant, then that means from 0 to 90 degree, the angle will be theta itself. If it is greater than 90 and less than 180, then I can say it as pi minus theta. If it is greater than 180 and less than 270, ippudu meru don't be in a rush to say that it is pi plus theta, endukante it lies between minus pi and plus pi. So this is 0 pi. Okay, so minus pi ante enti, veedu first anti clockwise nunchi veltadu, akkadi nunchi theta he will be taking. So this will become minus pi plus theta. Okay, now the similar way, if you want to, if the angle belong to the fourth quadrant, that time it will be just minus theta. Okay, it will be just minus theta. So please idi matuku mee screenshot తీసుకోండి. ఈ మొత్తం ఒక if you try to actually draw the diagram, it just simply looks like this. Okay, so I have completely analyzed this and I have drawn here clearly. So మీరు చూడొచ్చు how does the argument of any value lies. So ikkada meer chudochu, it lies between minus pi and plus pi. So it just oscillates between minus pi and plus pi. First quadrant theta, second quadrant pi minus theta. I will let you know in a meanwhile how to actually we can discriminate the this theta value based on the values of x and y, that is real part and imaginary part. At koddi time lone we will try to have a clarity about it, but otherwise it is minus pi plus theta and minus theta. Okay, so how do we find this argument value? Okay, ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏదన్నా కానీ ఒక పాయింట్ తీసుకున్నాను. Okay, so I'll just denote z as x comma y, that is how we have manifested it. Now if you take the theta value and if you try to see what will be the base part, if this is x comma y, so this will be x and this will be y. So can I say that tan theta is nothing but opposite by adjacent, right? So that will be equals to y by x. So theta is equals to tan inverse y by x, ante kada, tan inverse y by x. So this is nothing but the argument of z, right? That is how you will find the value. So every single time I can say that this theta is nothing but the tan inverse of the imaginary part by real part. Okay, కానీ ఈ imaginary part ki real part ki kuda signs అనేవి ఉంటాయి, that is very very important. Okay, so you need to take the signs, that is very important. According to that signs only we will be able to exactly locate which quadrant it belongs to. Okay, so that we'll have in our discussion. So the next one is the inverse part. Meer formula remember, you don't have to remember the formula. I will say you an easy technique. ఒక పని చూడండి, ఇప్పుడైనా కానీ x ప్లస్ iy అనే ఒక నెంబర్ ఉంది z, దీనికి వాడు మల్టిప్లికేటివ్ ఇన్వర్స్ అన్నాడు అనుకోండి, z బార్ z ఇన్వర్స్. సో వాట్ యూ కెన్ డూ ఇస్, ఏం చేయండి, ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేయండి, ఏదైతే ఈ y సైన్ ఉందో, yకి ఇక్కడ ప్లస్ ఉంది కదా, ప్లస్ i టైమ్స్ ఆఫ్ మైనస్ y డివైడ్ బై x స్క్వేర్ ప్లస్ y స్క్వేర్, డివైడ్ బై x స్క్వేర్ ప్లస్ y స్క్వేర్. ఏం చేసాము ఇక్కడ, సింపుల్, ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేసాము, ఈ వైకి ఏదైతే సైన్ ఉందో దానికి ఆపోజిట్ సైన్ తీసుకున్నాం, దట్ ఈస్ మైనస్ వై. సో ఎక్స్ ప్లస్ ఐ మైనస్ వై divided by x square plus y square. This x square plus y square is nothing but mod z square. So you can also derive a relation, z of multiplicative inverse of z is nothing but simple ga, if you have ippudu meer class inunte consciously you can just write it as z bar by mod z. Z bar ante enti, if z is equals to x plus iy, z bar will be x minus iy, and mod z square, mod z is nothing but under root of x square plus y square, right? Mod z is nothing but under root of x square plus y square. Mod z square ఏమైపోతుంది, root ఇంకా square cancel, that again will be x square plus y square. So this is how we can write the inverse of a complex number, right? Next. Okay. Now you see the first question, he is asking what is the argument of this function. Okay. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేద్దామంటే quick గా we will try to solve this. Okay. 1 into minus root 3 minus root 3, 1 into minus i I root 3 into I root 3, this will become minus 3i, I root 3 into minus I, so this will become plus root 3, okay, by 1 into minus I minus I into minus I, so this will become plus I square. Okay, so this will become minus I. So ikkada em ayipothundante minus root 3 plus root 3 gets cancelled. So 1 into minus root 3, 1 into minus I. So I root 3 into minus root 3, so this will become minus 3I, minus 3I minus 4I by I square, so this will become minus I minus 1. Okay, so ikkada nunchi you can just write this as 4I by 1 plus I into 1 minus I by 1 minus I. Okay, so 4I into 1, 4I into I, that will become 4I square, that will become minus 4, so this will become plus 4 by, so this will become, eppudu gurtu pettukondi, okkati gurtu pettukondi eppudaina gaani, a plus ib into a minus ib. So we'll be constantly using this one, a plus ib into a minus ib, that is z into z bar. Okay, z into z bar is equals to mod z square. Okay, in fact meeku if you just know the formula, what is a plus b into a minus b? A square minus b square. But don't be in a rush to write a square minus b square, endukante a square minus ib whole square. So a square minus ib whole square em ayipotundi? That will become a square plus b square. That will become a square plus b square. Okay, so a plus ib into a minus ib is nothing but a square plus b square. So ikkada a square plus b square enti 1 plus 1 2. Okay, so this will become 2 plus 2i. Okay, cancel cheste 2 plus 2i. So malli chudandi ikkada, if you see here again, I am just trying to see the calculation. 1 into minus root 3 minus root 3, 1 into minus I minus root 3 into root 3 3 minus 3i, and then again root 3 I square is minus 1 plus root 3, minus root 3 plus root 3 gets cancelled, minus 4I by minus I plus I square. I have taken the rationalizing part, 1 plus I 1 minus I finally got the answer 2 plus 2I. So tan theta is equals to, నేను ఇందాక ఏమన్నాను, y by x. Okay, the imaginary part by the real part, so that will be 2 by 2. What is 2 by 2? The value is 1, the answer is pi by 4. Okay, simple, right? Next, see the next one, 1 minus I cube by 2 minus I by 3 minus 2I. Okay, what is 1 minus I? What is a minus b whole cube? That is a cube minus b cube minus 3a square b plus 3ab square by, what is 2 minus I into 3 minus 2I? 2 into 3 6, 2 into minus 2I minus 4I, minus I into 3 minus 3I, minus of minus plus, but 2I square is minus 2, again it will be minus 2. Okay, so I hope I have done the calculation. Ikkada a minus b whole cube formula use chesa. So a cube plus b minus b cube minus 3a square b, so 3 into 1, so plus 3ab square. Okay, ఇప్పుడు I cube అంటే ఏంటి? I square. Okay, one more small notation ikkada I just wanted to clarify one more thing. Please take this thing as a very note point. I just want to finish off here itself. ikkada oka chinna note point. Okay, first thing, I value, I power 1 is I power 2 is nothing but I square is nothing but minus 1, I cube is nothing but, you can write I cube as I square into I, so this I can write it as minus I. What is I power 4? Is nothing but I power 4 is again minus I into minus I, that will become plus minus I into, so sorry, this will become I square is nothing but minus 1, so minus 1 into minus 1, it will become plus 1. Okay, so malli ide rigorous ga ide loop vastundi. Okay, I value is I power 1 is I square is minus 1, I cube is minus I power 4 is 1. So here you can generate a loop, that is you can generate a loop in terms of the multiples of 4. That means the node point is I power 4n is equals to 1, I power 4n plus 1 is equals to I power 4n plus 2 is equals to minus I power 4n plus 3 is equals to minus 1, right? So I hope I have written everything perfectly. I power 4n plus 2, this will become minus 1 and this will become minus I. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Okay, so ee note point mattuku clear ga raskondi. Okay, this is I, okay, this is I, and I power 4n is I1, I power 4n plus 1 is I power 4n plus 2 is minus 1, I power 4n plus 3 is minus I. Okay, so here comes the thing. So this note down cheskondi, we'll be using this property constantly. So 1 I cube value anta minus I. So 1 cube minus I, so that will be minus of minus plus I, minus 3I square is minus 3, this will become 6 minus 2 is 4, minus 4 minus 3, that will be minus 7I. Okay, so now I can write this as minus 2, 1 minus 3 minus 2I by 4 minus 7I. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏం చేయండి అంటే ఈ పార్ట్ మటుకు మీరే చేయండి. ఇక్కడ వరకు ఐ హ్యావ్ సాల్వ్డ్. నౌ యూ హ్యావ్ వాట్ యూ నీడ్ టు డూ, యూ జస్ట్ నీడ్ టు రేషనలైజ్, మల్టిప్లై బై 4 plus 7I by 4 plus 7I and then you try to get the answer. Imaginary part అంటే ఏంటంటే కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఆఫ్ I. సో ఐకి పక్కన ఏదైతే నెంబర్ ఉంటుందో దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ది ఇమాజినరీ పార్ట్. ఓకే, రైట్. ఓకే, సో సీ ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్. I have z is equals to this, okay, 2 minus I into 1 plus I cube by 1 minus I whole square. He's asking the argument of z. Now, you need to be little more careful here. నేను argument of z values తీసుకోవడానికి కారణం, ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్స్ రిపీట్ అవడానికి కారణం ఏంటంటే there are several times this questions has been asked. ఓకే, రిపీటెడ్గా 2-3 years నుంచి ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్ ఫ్రేమ్వర్కే నేను చూస్తాను. సో దట్ ఈస్ అ పాయింట్ లైక్, అండ్ యూ నీడ్ టు బి లిటిల్ మోర్ స్మార్ట్ ఎనఫ్ టు చూస్ ద ఆప్షన్. ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ సాల్వ్ చేయండి క్విక్గా. 2 minus I, దీని ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ ఏమైపోతుంది, వాట్ ఈస్ 1 plus I whole cube, దట్ విల్ బీ 1 cube. వాట్ ఈస్ I cube expansion, A cube plus B cube minus, so that will be, sorry, plus 3A square B plus 3AB square, okay, by what is 1 minus I whole square, 1 square plus I square minus 2I. Okay, so now this will be equal to 2 minus I into, now this will become 1 cube. What is I cube? That is nothing but I square into I. So that will become, I square is minus 1, so it will become minus I, and next 3I plus 3I, next 3I square is minus 3 by, now what is I square, this will become minus 2I. Okay, 2 minus I, now 1 minus 3 minus 2, 3I minus I, that will be 2I, minus 2 plus 2I by 2I. Okay, minus 2 plus 2I by 2I. Now from here what you can do is, you just try to multiply. First you can take 2 common, so this will become 2 minus I minus 1 plus I. Okay, 2 minus I minus 1 plus I by 2I, because you can take 2 common, so 2 gets cancelled, so ade cancel chesa. 2 minus I minus 1 plus I. Now what will I do, 2 into minus 1 minus 2, 2 into I 2I, minus 1 into minus I into minus 1, that will become plus I. Okay, and minus I into I square is minus 1, minus of minus plus by I. Okay, now if you try to see here, okay, 2I, so minus 2 plus 1 minus 1, minus 1 plus 3I by I. So this will become, what will become this, so if you try to multiply I on both numerator and denominator, this will become minus I, and this will become minus minus 3. So minus I minus 3, so finally you have minus 3 minus I. Okay, so you have the x and y value. Kani okavela if you try to plot this minus 3 and minus I on the coordinates, so how does it look like, minus 3 and minus 1, it belongs to which quadrant, it belongs to the third quadrant, it belongs to the third quadrant. So theta is equals to tan inverse modulus of y by x, so that will become, what is y over here, 1 by 3. Okay, that will be 1 by 3, but it belongs to which quadrant, where the both coordinates will be negative, that will be in the third quadrant. So whenever theta belongs to the third quadrant, it will become minus pi plus theta. Okay, minus pi plus theta, so this will become minus pi plus tan inverse 1 by 3. So that is the answer. So minus pi plus tan inverse 1 by 3. So ikkada meer chusina options lo minus pi plus tan inverse 1 by 3 unte, that's your option. Right, the next one is z is equals to minus 2 plus I by 1 minus 2I whole square is, so ikkada veedu em adugutunnadante modulus of the conjugate adugutunnadu. It's small note point, conjugate oka modulus, కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్ ఒక మాడ్యులస్ రెండు సేమ్. దాని అర్థం ఏంటంటే mod of z is equals to mod of z bar, that's what because modulus is nothing but the distance from the origin to the point. So modulus of a number and modulus of the conjugate of the number are one and the same. Okay, so from here I'm not trying to do the whole problem. Ikkada meer chuste, I would like to just expand this. I would leave them. Okay, let's try to finish off the problem. Minus 2 plus I. What is 1 minus 2i whole square? So what is a minus b whole square? A square plus b square minus 2ab, so that will become minus 4i. Okay, so minus 2 plus I by 4i square will become minus 3 minus 4i. Okay, so I hope my calculations are all perfect. Okay, minus 2 plus I by 1 plus 4i square, that will be minus 4, 1 minus 4 minus 3 minus 3 minus 4i. So this, if you try to rationalize this, minus 2 plus I into minus 3 plus 4i by minus 3 minus 4i into minus 3 plus 4i. ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ డినామినేటర్లో కూడా రేషనల్ నెంబర్ వస్తే మీరు ఏం చేయండి అంటే, సారీ, కాంప్లెక్స్ నెంబర్ వస్తే దెన్ యూ కెన్, హాయ్ పూజ, minus 3 plus 4i. So now you can do what is, you can a plus ib into a minus ib is nothing but a square plus b square. So this will become 3 square, that is 9. 9 plus 16, 25. Okay, so minus 2 into minus 3, that will be 6. So minus 2 into minus 2 into 4, that will be minus 8i, and I into minus 3, this will become minus 3i, and I into 4i, it will become 4i square, which is minus 4. So we have 6 minus 4, 2, minus 3 minus 8 minus 3i is nothing but the minus 11i. So 2 minus 11i by 25. 2 minus 11i by 25. Okay, now we got the final answer to be this. So conjugate of this number, conjugate of a modulus of this number will be one and the same. So what will be the conjugate? 2 minus 11i by 25. దీనికి కాంజుగేట్ కనుక్కోండి. ఇది ఎలా ఉంటుంది? mod z. So mod z is nothing but under root of a square plus b square. A square enta 2 by 25 square, so that will be 4 by 25 square, and 11 by 25 square, this will also be equals to 11 square, sorry, this is 11 square. So 121 plus 5, 125 by 25 square, 25 you can write it as 25 into 25, so 25 5s are 5 5s are, so answer is 1 by root 5. Wherever you see the option, that is correct answer. So answer is 1 by root 5. Okay, now quickly see the next question. See this question, sigma of I by 3 whole to the power n. If you see here, this is in the form of I by 3 whole to the power 0 plus I by 3 whole to the power 1 plus I by 3 whole to the power 2. It just goes on like this. If you try to see, this is nothing but the geometric series. Geometric series lo how can you find the sum of series? That is nothing but a into 1 minus r to the power n by 1 minus r. Kani if r is lying between minus 1 and plus 1, then if I tend that to infinity, that will become equal to 0. So ultimately the summation value is always existing when the r value is less than 1 and greater than minus 1. That is, the modulus of r is less than 1. So the formula is a by 1 minus r. A by 1 minus r. So in this case, if you try to see what is my a value, that is 1. Okay, what is my r? So that will be r is nothing but I by 3. So a is 1, 1 minus I by 3. Okay, so now this will become 3 by 3 minus I. Now can you, so this will be the summation part. Okay, this will be the summation of all terms. So 3 by 3 minus I, just try to do this, 3 plus I, 3 plus I. So this will become 9 plus 3i by a plus b into a minus b, a square plus b square. So 9 plus 1, 10. So 9 plus 3i by 10. Simple. So ikkada we have used the formula a into 1 minus r, summation of a r to the power n, where n is oscillating from 0 to infinity. You have the formula a into 1 minus r to the power n by 1 minus r. Geometric series lo vastundi. Whenever you have, from here I can just divert this formula. Whenever mod r is greater than 1, that time this tends towards infinity. That means it does not exist. Okay, whenever mod r is less than 1, so that time if I tend towards the infinity, this summation will turn out to be a by 1 minus r. Okay, that's what a small discussion it is. Okay, let's go to the next problem. We have 1 plus I square plus I power 4 plus I power 2024. This was asked in 2023. So ఇది ఎలా చేయొచ్చు? 1 plus I square plus I power 4. So I'm just trying to create some brackets. I power 6 plus I power 8 up to so on. If you see 2024 is a multiple of 4, so that will be 4 5s are 20, 4, so it will be 506. So I can just write it this as I power 2022 plus I power 2024. ఇప్పుడు మీరు చూస్తే ఇందాక నేను చెప్పిన లెక్క ప్రకారం చూస్తే I to the power 4n. Okay, let's just try to make it much more simple. I to the power 4n is nothing but 1. I to the power 4n plus 1, which is equals to I to the power 4n plus 2, which is equals to minus 1, I to the power 4n plus 3, which is equals to minus I. Okay, so here we are dealing with I to the power, so eppudaithe 1 undo I to the power, so if you see here I square is nothing but minus 1, so that is nothing but the I power 4n plus 2. N can be any integer, okay, specifically the positive integers or any integer. So n place lo 0 pedithe I square minus 1, so ee value vachesi minus 1, I to the power 4, I to the power 4 value enta 1, so this is minus 1 plus 1, malli I to the power 4n plus 2 value enta minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so it goes on. So ee lopala unna brackets value anni cancel ayipothunnayi, even at the last minus 1 plus 1 kuda cancel, so everything gets cancelled. Lastly we have the value only plus 1. The answer is plus 1, option C. We are done. Okay, let's see the next question. Area of the triangle formed by the complex numbers z, iz, z plus iz in the argand diagram is. So if you try to take z is equals to x plus iy, ఈ z అనేది వాడు స్పెసిఫిక్గా ఏ నెంబర్స్ చెప్పలేదు, సో విల్ ట్రై టు ఫస్ట్ విజువలీ సీ హౌ డస్ దిస్ డయాగ్రామ్ లుక్స్ లైక్. ఓకే, ఆన్ పేపర్, రైట్? సో హాయ్, గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ సార్. ఓకే, గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్. ఎనీవే, so let's try to see the diagram when you are actually seeing it on a complex plane, right? So if you try to see z is equals to x plus iy and iz, so ఇక్కడ 3 నెంబర్లు ఇచ్చాడు, ఒకటి z, ఒకటి iz, ఒకటి z plus iz. ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ z అనే నెంబర్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు you can take z as x plus iy, you can always treat it as a number. So ఇప్పుడు మీరు చూడండి, we have totally 3 numbers like this. Okay, one is z, that is x plus iy, so you can treat every complex number as a ordered pair, that is x comma y. If you treat iz అనే నెంబర్ ఎలా ఉంటుందమ్మా చూడండి, I into x plus iy, so I into x anta ix, I into I is minus y, so finally I have minus y plus ix. So minus y అనేది రియల్ పార్ట్, x అనేది ఇమాజినరీ పార్ట్, సో iz వాల్యూ ఎంత మైనస్ y కామా x. సో ఇక్కడ 2 నెంబర్లు వచ్చాయి, ఫస్ట్ x కామా y, నెక్స్ట్ ఆర్డర్ పేర్ మైనస్ y కామా x. సో z ప్లస్ iz ఎలా ఉంటుంది, z అనేది x ప్లస్ iy. Okay, so I'm just writing here z plus iz is nothing but x plus iy and plus I times x plus iy. So malli, so x plus iy plus ix minus y, so this will become x minus y times plus I times y plus x. Okay, so x minus y, y plus x. So ikkada ee coordinates vachetappudiki x minus y comma y plus x. Okay, so we have totally 3 coordinates, that is x comma y, the next one is minus y comma x, the next one is x minus y comma y plus x. Oka chinna formula, ఇది actually coordinate system లో already you might have used in your 10th grade and previous grade also, but I'm just trying to specify this formula. Even determinants case lo kuda I forgot to say this note point. Whenever you have 3 coordinates which are in the form of x1 comma y1, x2 comma y2, x3 comma y3, ఎప్పుడైనా ఇలాంటి 3 పాయింట్స్ ఉన్నాయి విచ్ ఆర్ నాన్ కొలీనియర్ పాయింట్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు, సో దిస్ ఇఫ్ యూ ట్రై టు సీ ఇట్ ఆన్ కార్టెసియన్ ప్లేన్, దీస్ ఆర్ సమ్ 3 ర్యాండమ్ పాయింట్స్. ఇఫ్ యూ ట్రై టు జస్ట్ జాయిన్, ఇట్ విల్ బి ఏ triangle. Now how can you find the area of the triangle? Actually we can derive the formula right now. We can even derive the formula using determinants, as well as you can also find the area of the parallelogram using these determinants, and also something like parallelopiped. We will also discuss this formulas even in the vector algebra also. But ee formula vachesi area of triangle is nothing but x1 y1 1, x2 y2 1, x3 y3 1. So inte simple. ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ మీకు కోఆర్డినేట్స్ ఉన్నాయి x1 y1 x2 y2. ప్లీజ్ నోట్ డౌన్ దిస్ ఫార్ములా ఇస్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఓకే, ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ ఒక 3 కోఆర్డినేట్స్ ఇచ్చి ఏరియా ఆఫ్ ట్రయాంగిల్ అడిగాడు అనుకోండి, ఇప్పుడు మొత్తం మీరు డయాగ్రామ్ గీసి మళ్ళీ దానికి సున్నం పూసి ఇవన్నీ వీ కెనాట్ డూ, రైట్? ఇన్ ద ఎంసెట్ ఎగ్జామ్ యూ జస్ట్ నీడ్ టు యూజ్ దిస్ ఫార్ములా అండ్ యూ నీడ్ టు ఫైండ్ ద ఆన్సర్, right? So we have 3 coordinates x comma y minus y comma x and x minus y. Simply use that formula, so that will become x y1 minus y x1, and the next one is x minus y and x plus y and 1. E determinant find out jayandi, you'll get the answer. Okay, so if I have to just elaborate this discriminant of this thing, so it will be x times of x into, okay, I would like to just use the space in the next slide, xy1 minus y x1. So xy1 minus y x1 minus y x1. The next one is x minus y plus x, x minus y plus x into 1. Okay, now take the determinant of this. So this will become x times of, you can just do the row operations also, that will reduce your calculation. So R2 gives R2 minus R1, that you can do, but still, okay, let's try to finish off this calculation. X minus y minus x minus y times, so this will become minus y times y minus y minus x plus y plus 1 times minus y square minus xy minus y square minus xy minus x square plus xy minus x square plus xy. Okay, so this will become, so here x and minus x I can cancel, and minus y and plus y I can cancel. So this will become minus xy, and this will become plus xy. So this minus xy plus xy also gets cancelled. So I have here also minus xy plus xy gets cancelled. So here I have minus x square minus of x square plus y square. So మొత్తం నేను చేస్తే ఆన్సర్ ఎంత వచ్చింది, minus of x square plus y square. So if I have calculated this determinant, this is nothing but minus of x square plus y square. So final answer I got for the area of this triangle is nothing but the minus half x square plus y square. But ఈ మైనస్ మనం కన్సిడర్ చేయం, ఎందుకంటే ఏరియా విల్ ఆల్వేస్ బీ పాజిటివ్, అండ్ మైనస్ రావడానికి కారణం ఏంటంటే ఇఫ్ యూ ట్రై టు ఇంటర్చేంజ్ ఎనీ 2 rows and columns, then also you will be getting the minus sign. So it doesn't matter. If you see here, this is nothing but 1/2. What is mod z? Mod z is nothing but under root of x square plus y square. So I can just treat this as mod z square. So this will become half mod z square. Mod z is nothing but under root of x square plus y square. Here this is x square plus y square. I've just cancelled it out to the root by squaring on it. See the next one, 1 minus I by 1 plus I whole to the power 2022. So first ఏం చేయండి అంటే దీన్ని rationalize చేయండి, then you can take 2022 and then again rationalize this. Again rationalize ante it's a wrong term, just try to take the conjugate of the denominator in both the cases. So 1 minus I first solve cheyandi, so this will be 1 minus I by 1 minus I. So what will be a minus b into a minus b? That will be a minus b whole square by a plus b. So this will be 1 plus 1. So this will be 1 square plus I square, which is minus 1, and it will be minus 2i. So 1 plus 1, so this will become minus I. So finally this value I got it to be I. So I to the power 2022. Is 2022 a multiple of 4? No, 2000 is a multiple of 4. So 2022 ni ela rayachu? We'll just come to that case little later. First 1 plus I కూడా solve చేద్దాం. 1 plus I by 1 minus I. దీన్ని solve చేస్తే నాకు ఎంత వస్తుంది? So just solve this, take the conjugate. So this will become 1 plus I whole square, that will become 1 square plus I square is minus 1 plus 2I by a plus b into a minus b, a square plus b square 2. So this will become 2I by 2, which is equals to I. So I got this value to be I and this value to be also to be minus I, but still minus wouldn't matter much because it is even number, and here it is anyway I to the power 22. So I got the answer minus I power 2022 plus I to the power 2021. Okay, so ఇప్పుడు నేను ఈ I to the power 2022 ఎలా రాయొచ్చు? I can just write this as I to the power 4 into some number. So you know that already 2020 is a multiple of 4. Okay, I just don't want to calculate this garbage value, plus the remainder is 2. Okay, plus I to the power ఇది కూడా 4 into some garbage value plus 1. Okay, so this will automatically be I square, ఎందుకంటే multiple of 4 is always 1 ఇక్కడ కూడా. So this will become I. So I square value ఎంత? So if you see here, I square value is minus 1 plus I. So finally I got the answer to be I minus 1. Okay, so I minus 1. So this is minus 1 plus I can just write it as I minus 1. So this is the answer. Right. So see the next question. I will leave this question to you because it involves only the calculative part. ఇక్కడ మీరు చూడండి ఫస్ట్ 2x minus y x minus 2y minus 1 is equals to 2 minus 3y. ఫస్ట్ మీరు ఏం చేయండి అంటే the first step is to find the value of x and y. సో మీరు చూడండి 2x minus y plus 1 equals to 2, x minus 2y minus 1 equals to minus 3. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏం చేయండి ఈ రెండు ఈక్వేషన్స్ సాల్వ్ చేయండి. ఫస్ట్ మీరు కంప్లీట్గా యూ కెన్ జస్ట్ రైట్ దిస్ యాజ్ 2x minus y, 2 minus 1 is equals to 1, x minus 2y. So this will become equals to minus 2. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేయండి అంటే రెండు చోట్ల you just multiply with 2. So if you multiply here with 2, that will become 2x minus y plus. So this will become, I'm directly writing 2x minus 4y minus 4. Now I'm cancelling out everything. So this will become 4y minus y. So that will become 3y. And again I'm just changing the sign. This will be equals to 5. So y equals to 5 by 3. I got the y value to be 5 by 3. Immediately find the value of x. 2x minus 5 by 3 is equals to 1. 1 minus 5 by 3 is equals to minus 2 by 3. Minus 2 by 3 is equals to that. So 2x 1 minus 5 by 3. So this will become 2x equals to 3 minus 5. That will be minus 2 by 3. So from here x value is equals to 1 by 3. Okay. Now so just ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏం చేయండి అంటే x minus iy కి how can you find the multiplicative inverse? That is nothing but the x plus I times minus y. కానీ ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ మైనస్ y ది అడుగుతున్నాడు కాబట్టి it will become plus y by x square plus y square. Okay, so just ignoring little bit of arithmetics here, but whatever the value that you got x and y, just try to impose those values and you'll get the answer. Okay, everything is there on the paper. It is again one of the repeated question. Just for the sake of your understanding, how did we get? ఇక్కడ నేను ఏం చేశానంటే ఫస్ట్ ఇక్కడ రియల్ పార్ట్ని రియల్ పార్ట్తో కంపేర్ చేస్తాను, మళ్ళీ ఇమాజినరీ పార్ట్ని ఇమాజినరీ పార్ట్ కంపేర్ చేస్తాను. అప్పుడు నాకు రెండు ఈక్వేషన్స్ వచ్చాయి. ఆ రెండు ఈక్వేషన్స్ నుంచి x and y సాల్వ్ చేసుకొని దెన్ ఐ హ్యావ్ సబ్స్టిట్యూటెడ్ ద వాల్యూ. రైట్, దిస్ ఇస్ ఆల్ ద హోల్ థింగ్ ఇస్. ద నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఇస్ దిస్ ఇస్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఇది వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఇది చూడండి, ఈ క్వశ్చన్ చూడండి, జస్ట్ సీ దిస్ క్వశ్చన్. you need to find the minimum value of mod z plus mod 2z minus 3 plus mod z minus 1. Okay, indaka I have given you two inequalities. Okay, just take down these two inequalities. Mod z1 plus z2 is less than or equal to mod z1 plus mod z2. This is called the triangle law. This is called the triangle law. Ela ante this, we always know what is the property of a triangle. The sum of two sides are always greater than the third side. ఏదన్నా కానీ మూడు సైడ్లు తీసుకుంటే ప్రతిసారి ట్రయాంగిల్ రాదు. ఓకే, ఒక ప్రాపర్టీ ఫాలో అవుతుంది. అదేంటంటే ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ రెండు సైడ్లు యాడ్ చేసినప్పుడు, ఏవన్నా రెండు సైడ్లు యాడ్ చేసినప్పుడు తప్పకుండా మూడో ఒక సైడ్కి గ్రేటరే ఉండాలి. దట్ ఈస్ ది ట్రయాంగిల్ లా. అందుకనే ఇక్కడ మీరు చూస్తే ఇఫ్ ఐ టేక్ దీస్ టూ సైడ్స్ అండ్ ఇఫ్ యూ ట్రై టు యాడ్, that should be greater than the third side. That is what the whole triangle law philosophy is. So akkad nunche this has given birth. See, if you try to now try to use that sort of a thing over here, add everything. Okay, if you try to add everything, he's asking the minimum value. So if we try to see in terms of that sense, so that will become mod z plus mod 2z minus 3. Instead of having two vectors, we have three vectors. Okay, still the law is still same. We can use some little bit of mathematical induction also. Plus mod z minus 1. So if I try to add everything, what will happen? This will be z plus 2z minus 3 plus z minus 1. Z plus 2z plus this, what is this? Z 2z and plus z minus 1. Okay, so here there is one more property which I wanted to discuss here. Okay, mod z1 plus z2 is less than or equals to mod z1 plus z2. So you can also say that mod z1 minus z2 is also less than, say, mod z1 plus z2. So our property nunchi you can also find this value. Okay, you can also find the value. So yeah, so I would like to just describe this one property over here. Okay, ఈ యొక్క ప్రాపర్టీ మీరు చూడండి, which I discussed here. Okay, so if you see here, mod z1 minus z2 is less than mod z1 minus z2. So e properties use cheyandi. Similar ga again from here also you use this property and then we can find the value. Okay, yeah. Okay, see here the locus of the z imaginary part of z minus 3i by I plus iz plus 4. So just take, let z is equals to x plus iy. if you take z is equals to x plus iy, ఇక్కడ ఏమైపోతుంది x plus iy minus 3i by I times x plus iy plus 4. So this will become, you should find the imaginary part of this and equate it to 0. So that will become x plus I times y minus 3. So I into x, ix, I square it will be minus y, so plus 4. Okay, so finally I have this equation. Now if you try to just rearrange the terms, so x plus I y minus 3 by what is this, 4 minus y plus ix, 4 minus y plus ix. So just if we try to again take the conjugate of this and try to just think about the imaginary part, don't try to find out all the remaining values of the real part. So x plus I y minus 3 by, then again I have 4 minus y plus I plus x, 4 minus y plus ix. So now what do you do, 4 minus y minus ix, 4 minus y minus ix. So now if you try to see here, so this will become 4 minus y whole square. So whatever the denominator is, it doesn't matter, endukante we want just the imaginary part, and if you take the imaginary part equals to 0, anyway all the denominator part will also be equal to 0. It doesn't bother us. Right now we are just interested in the imaginary part. So what will multiply manaki edi imaginary part vastundi, y minus 3 into 4 minus y, that's the first one. And the next one is, if I multiply even x, so plus x times 4 minus y. So if I take the entire thing, so this is some value which is equals to 0. So if I try to multiply this, 4y minus y square minus 12 plus 3y plus 4x minus xy minus xy. So I hope I have done all the calculation perfectly. Okay, x, why did I multiply this? Okay, so I don't have to do this part. This is wrong because this is again a false thing. This is again real part. I times y minus 3, so I should multiply x with minus x. So this will become x into x, that will become just x square. Okay, so I have x square. So finally I have this to be an x square value, and by the way the sign is still the same, x, this is minus x square. Okay, this is just minus x square. So just my calculation little bad. Okay, so here it is minus x square ante. So now you can just shift all the values to the other side. So this will become x square plus y square minus, so 4y plus 3y, that will become minus 7y over that side, and this will become equals to plus 12. Okay, so just being little more conscious about the calculation, so precisely we have done right. Okay, now yeah, so we have x square plus y square plus minus 7y plus 12, so minus 7y plus 12. So the answer is option C. We are done. Okay, let's see the next question. A plus b by equals to I by 1 minus I. Again the same calculation, just take what, just multiply 1 plus I by 1 plus I. Again you will be getting what, 1 into I is I, so I square is minus 1 by 1 plus I, this will become 2, so that will become minus 1 by 2 comma 1 by 2. The option is answer D. Let's take the next question. Z bar by z minus I equals to 2. Take z bar is equals to x plus iy, so z bar will be x minus iy, and take here the same thing. మీరు ఏం చేయండి అంటే, here it involves little more high calculation, but you will be getting a linear equation, like you will be getting a straight line. So x minus iy minus 1 by x plus iy minus I is equals to 2. Okay, he's saying the real part, so that will become x minus 1 minus iy. Okay, so this will become x times I times y minus 1. Okay, so you should find the real part of it. మీరు ఏం చేయండి, just again multiply by x into x minus I y minus 1, x minus I y minus 1. So మధ్యలో ఏమొచ్చినా you don't have to worry about it. Just take the real part. Real part ఏమైపోతుంది, x minus 1 into x, that will be the real part, iy into y minus 1. So x minus 1 into x, quick ga, and iy into this, so minus of minus plus, and that will become I square is minus 1, so minus y into y minus 1. So minus y into y minus 1. So this will become x square minus x minus y square, so this will become plus y. Okay, I hope I have done all the calculations perfectly. So x minus x plus I, y minus 1. Okay, so that is what the calculation is: x plus iy, x plus I, y minus 1, x minus iy, x minus 1 minus iy. So I have just done x minus I, y minus 1. So x minus 1 into x, and the next one is I minus of minus, so this will become plus. Okay, and I square value is minus, so minus y into y minus 1, minus y into y minus 1. Now if you try to see here, minus y into y minus 1, so this will become minus y square minus y equals to 0. Okay, so I have x square minus y square minus x plus y equals to 0. Is this a circle equation? No. Is this a circle equation? No. Is this so wherever you see the circle equation, it is false. Okay, this is not the circle equation. And if you substitute minus 1 comma minus 1, if you just try to substitute, so this will become, if you substitute minus 1 comma minus 1, substitute just 1, this will become minus 1, and again this will become plus 1, this will become minus 1. The answer is 0. So it clearly represents a pair of straight line, but because what is the equation of a circle? That is nothing but x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equals to 0. So this is not the circle equation, hence because ikkada minus y square undi kabatti, so hence it's not a circle equation, hence we have the option to be A. So here comes the last question: mod of z minus 1 plus mod z minus 5, what is the minimum value? ఇందాక నేను చెప్పినట్టు mod z1 plus z2 is less than or equal to mod z1 plus mod z2. ఇందాక ఒక క్యాలిక్యులేషన్లో I had got a little error. I would like to recompensate that. So మీకు ఆన్సర్ కీలో కరెక్ట్ ఆన్సర్ ఇస్తా. So please see here. So here it will be mod, in place of z1 just substitute mod z minus 1, and here it is mod z minus 5. So just try to see here, mod z minus 1 plus mod z minus 5. You can take here plus or minus also. So here it will be minus z plus 5. Okay, so now it will become, what is 5 minus 1? 4. So this will become mod z minus 1 plus mod z minus 5. So this will be less than or equal to 4. The minimum value is 4. Okay, and the value greater than or equal to 4, the least value that you can get is 4. Okay, so so here comes the end of the session. I hope you followed the session, and మీకు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ప్లీజ్ యూ కెన్ కమెంట్ ఇన్ ద చాట్ బాక్స్ యాజ్ వెల్, అండ్ ప్లీజ్ డూ షేర్ దిస్ the videos that you have seen to your friends, as well as please download our app. Okay, this is the QR code scanner. Okay, you can download our app, and you can also, there is so much of content available on on the Sysya app, and inka YouTube lo kuda please do share with your friends, because there is enormous number of information regarding the EAPCET, as well as there are few more contents. Right now we are coming up with the English courses as well. We are coming up with different, already there are few more courses like robotics and the mathematics of 10th grade maths and 9th grade maths. So different lectures have been already there on the YouTube, so that is all available. And yeah, and also please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.